A follow-up to an I-Team exclusive. The Brooklyn Diocese says a high-profile Monsignor in Williamsburg with ties to Mayor Adams has been relieved of some of his pastoral duties after an internal investigation found he mishandled roughly $2 million in parish funds.
It was supposed to be just another music video, a pop star, a catchy song, and a visually striking location. But when Sabrina Carpenter filmed Feather inside a historic Brooklyn church, she unknowingly set off a chain of events that would unravel years of secret financial dealings, expose a corrupt priest, and even tie into a high-profile political investigation. What started as a simple video shoot turned into a deep dive into money laundering, backdoor deals, and a priest who had been playing a dangerous game for years. And soon, this wasn't just a local controversy. It became national news. Headlines across the U.S. exploded with the scandal as social media and major news outlets picked up the bizarre and unexpected story of how a pop music video exposed corruption in both the Catholic Church and New York City politics. Our story begins at Our Lady of Mount Carmel Parish, a Catholic church in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. This isn't just any church. It's an institution deeply rooted in the community, known for its grand Italian festivals, centuries-old traditions, and a congregation that takes its faith seriously. So when pop star Sabrina Carpenter received permission to film her Feather music video inside the church, no one could have predicted the firestorm that was about to erupt. The music video's visuals were provocative. Carpenter, dressed in a playful but revealing outfit, dances among coffins. A particularly controversial shot features a coffin with "R.I.P." scrawled across it in bold letters. It's a cheeky, irreverent moment, but for the church's devoted parishioners, it was nothing short of sacrilege. The backlash was immediate. Churchgoers were outraged. How had this been allowed to happen? Who in their right mind had signed off on this? The Diocese of Brooklyn, which oversees the church, claimed they had no idea about the shoot. And that's where things started to unravel. All eyes turned to Monsignor Jamie Gigantiello, the church's administrator. He was the one who had approved the music video. But as furious church members started asking questions, they stumbled upon something far worse than a music video scandal. They found a money trail.
As you may remember, back in September, we reported that federal prosecutors were looking into some unusual business dealings between Monsignor Jamie Gigantiello and Mayor Adams' close advisor, Frank Carone. The Monsignor's attorney tells me that the financial dealings have reaped nothing but big benefits for his parish, but the bishop says they violated church policy.
Gigantiello had a reputation for being well-connected. He wasn't just a priest, he was a power player. Before entering the clergy, he had a background in finance and hospitality, making him one of the few priests with extensive experience in handling money. He had even served as the Diocese of Brooklyn's Vicar for Development, meaning he oversaw fundraising and financial operations for multiple churches. On paper, he seemed like a trusted figure. But beneath the surface, there was something much more sinister going on. As investigators began digging into Gigantiello's past, a pattern emerged. This wasn't the first time he had rented out church property without proper authorization. He had a history of leasing church spaces for private events, quietly pocketing the funds. In multiple instances, he moved large sums of money out of church accounts under suspicious circumstances. And then came the bombshell: financial transactions linking him to an individual connected to New York City Mayor Eric Adams' administration.
We are praying for your family.
They say they've been friends for decades. Brooklyn Monsignor Jamie Gigantiello and Brooklyn power broker Frank Carone, who was Mayor Adams' chief of staff and campaign chairman. The Brooklyn Diocese today announcing the Monsignor invested almost $2 million in parish funds in Frank Carone's businesses without proper accounting or disclosure.
Mayor Adams' administration was already under scrutiny, with the FBI investigating financial misconduct and alleged corruption in his political circle. But now, a Catholic priest was found to have funneled money to an individual tied to the mayor's office. What exactly was he paying for? Who else was involved? Was this a simple case of misused church funds, or did it run even deeper into the political machine of New York City?
In 2019, transferring $1 million to Carone's law firm, Abrams Fensterman, which Carone repaid with 9% interest to the parish. An Abrams Fensterman spokesman said the investment benefited the diocese. In 2021, the Monsignor transferred another $900,000 in parish funds to two companies affiliated with Carone. According to the diocese, that money was repaid early in 2022 upon request from the Monsignor without interest. The diocese says its review found Monsignor Gigantiello misused a church credit card as well, a source familiar describing about $100,000 in personal expenses, including vacation home furniture, clothing, and dining out. As Monsignors go, Gigantiello is high profile. He's posted pictures alongside the mayor and Carone in Rome.
Some of these payments remain unexplained, and the diocese is now reviewing whether parishioners' donations were being used for non-religious purposes. This was no longer just about financial mismanagement. It was beginning to look like embezzlement. While no formal criminal charges have been filed yet, the investigation into Monsignor Jamie Gigantiello's financial dealings is far from over. Law enforcement sources have suggested that his money transfers could be part of a much larger web of financial corruption, potentially involving illegal campaign contributions, tax fraud, and even foreign influence in city contracts. The FBI and financial crime units have been closely examining the $1.9 million in unauthorized transfers he made between 2019 and 2021 to entities associated with Frank Carone, a high-profile attorney and former chief of staff to NYC Mayor Eric Adams. These transactions, some structured as loans, others disguised as donations, have raised serious legal red flags. The investigation took a more intense turn when forensic accountants uncovered inconsistencies in financial reports submitted by the parish. Some funds appeared to have been rerouted through third-party companies, and a number of key financial documents had either gone missing or been altered. This has led authorities to suspect that money laundering may have been involved, potentially linking Gigantiello to a wider network of financial mismanagement and political corruption. As of now, Gigantiello has not been formally charged, but his career has taken a dramatic fall. The Diocese of Brooklyn swiftly removed him from his pastoral duties, stripping him of all administrative authority at Our Lady of Mount Carmel Annunciation Parish. Bishop Robert Brennan appointed Auxiliary Bishop Witold Mroziewski to take over church operations in an effort to restore trust. However, despite these actions, Gigantiello still retains the ability to say Mass, though under strict oversight.
Marketed his own cookbook
144 cases.
And produced his own brand of pasta sauce for charity, which he calls a taste of heaven. He has vacation homes in Florida and in the Hamptons, where Mayor Adams has visited, according to sources. But he caught the attention of Bishop Brennan after letting pop star Sabrina Carpenter use his church, Our Lady of Mount Carmel, to shoot a controversial music video. In a statement today, Bishop Robert Brennan said Monsignor Gigantiello had mishandled substantial church funds and interfered with the administration of the parish after being directed not to do so. As News 4 reported in September, the bishop already removed the Monsignor's financial oversight of his parish earlier this year, installing Deacon Dean Dobbins to take over as administrator instead. But today, Bishop Brennan announced he's also now removed the deacon after he was recorded using racist language during private conversations in the parish office. The bishop said in a statement it was wrong to secretly record Deacon Dobbins, but the use of such language by any church employee is unacceptable and will not be tolerated.
And I just spoke with the Monsignor's attorney, Arthur Aidala, and he told me that the $1 million investment that the Monsignor made with parish funds to Frank Carone's law firm actually earned 12% interest, not 9%, as the diocese had told us. Either way, Aidala says those investments had a large rate of return, and they were made strictly for the benefit of the church. Aidala also said the Monsignor's credit card spending was all authorized in writing as part of his official compensation package. And he told me that if any additional responsibilities were taken away from the Monsignor since our last report in September, he said the Monsignor had not been alerted.
The diocese has stated that it is fully cooperating with federal and local authorities, and if sufficient evidence is found, Gigantiello could face criminal charges related to financial fraud and abuse of power. Legal experts suggest that if political corruption charges are tied to these transactions, he could also be implicated in the ongoing FBI probe into New York City's government financial dealings. As for Sabrina Carpenter, she never expected that filming a music video in a church would lead to a full-scale corruption investigation. What was supposed to be a creative expression for her single feather turned into an explosive news story that put her name at the center of a scandal she had nothing to do with. Initially, Sabrina stayed silent on the controversy, but as headlines kept linking her music video to the downfall of a high-ranking Catholic priest, she eventually responded. When asked about the incident in an interview, she laughed it off, saying, "I just wanted to dance. Didn't know I was going to uncover a financial crime scene." She has since leaned into the unexpected publicity, even jokingly referencing the controversy on social media, turning what could have been a PR nightmare into a lighthearted viral moment. But the backlash was real. Some religious groups criticized her, saying her video was disrespectful to the church, while others pointed out that she was being unfairly blamed for something she had no control over. In a later statement, Carpenter's team clarified that all permissions for filming had been obtained legally, and she had no knowledge of the internal church dealings. Still, the controversy put her name in global headlines and unexpectedly boosted the success of her single. Feather saw a spike in streams and views, proving once again that even bad press can be good press in the world of pop music. This story isn't just about a priest mismanaging church funds. It's about what happens when power goes unchecked. Religious institutions handle billions in donations and assets, often with little oversight. When someone like Gigantiello, with financial expertise and political ties, operates without accountability, corruption thrives. His connections to the New York City government suggest this isn't just about one priest. It's about how money quietly moves through institutions people trust. Corruption thrives in secrecy, and Gigantiello's actions went unnoticed for years under the cover of his religious authority. Politics and religion are more connected than we think, and his financial dealings raise serious questions about where the lines between faith and influence truly blur. Sometimes scandals are exposed by accident. Without Sabrina Carpenter's music video, would any of this have come to light? The investigation is still ongoing, and whether or not Gigantiello faces criminal charges, his reputation is already in ruins. And once again, it proves, whenever money moves behind closed doors, someone is always watching.